This is Michael Perozzo. This is my beer story, and this is the most wonderful time of the year. It's fresh hop season. That means basically starting now in this late August and clear on to the end of September, hops are ready to be harvested. These behind me here, and this is just at my home. I grow some hops. This year I'm submitted them to be used in some brews around town. One in particular is Trapdoor Brewing. They do a beer called Co-Hop IPA. It's all neighborhood hops. So it's I'm sorry, it's not all neighborhood hops, but there's a lot of neighborhood hops in it. Basically, they invite everyone in the neighborhood around Vancouver, Washington here and Southwest Washington to bring their hops in. There's no limit to what type of hop or anything like that. They just say bring hops in. So that's going to be really cool to have my hops used in a beer. I hope to get some of these out to maybe another brewer in town. Maybe I'll have my hops in several beers before it's all said and done. But these are Cascade hops, and you can maybe even hear how papery that is. You hear that? Very papery leaves. That's when they've reached the point that they're ready to be picked. And then what they've got here is down inside. I'm going to kind of crush it up in my fingers here a little bit. Down inside here, we've got this little yellow stuff. This little yellow stuff in here that resembles maybe a little bit of pollen. It's actually called lupulin. And lupulin is really where all of that hop bitterness comes from. That's really the active part of the hop that gives beer its flavor. So this is a really exciting time of year for me. That. Oh man. I started growing my hops when I found out that the local beer and wine supply store, Bader Beer and Wine, they were selling what they call rhizomes. Rhizome is like a little, maybe 3-inch to 4-inch piece of root, is what it looks like. And it's maybe kind of similar. I'm not a botanist by any means, but it's maybe kind of similar to like a bulb. That's what it reminded me of, was like planting bulbs with my grandfather. I planted these rhizomes in the ground, and I got 3 of each for 9 different kinds of hops, and I grew them all the way down my fence line here in little sections. They've kind of, it doesn't look like it from this angle, but this is actually sectioned off pretty well, so I know which hops are which, and can go to those. My fingers are all sticky from all that lupulin and hoppy goodness. My hands are going to smell like that the rest of the night. It's a good thing I'm not going out in public, because I'd just be sniffing my fingers. And you remember Mary Kathleen Gallagher from SNL? She'd rub her armpits and then smell her fingers. That's how I feel like right now. Anyhow, hops. I planted those rhizomes. That was 3 years ago. This is the 3rd year, which is they say it's the most productive year of the hops, or it's when the hops kind of reach their production level. So each year now I can kind of expect to get this kind of a crop, which is pretty bountiful. So I'm excited for that. It's been a long time coming. The first year the hops really needed some attention. They needed water. The second year needed some attention. The third year, really the only thing I come out here for in the third year is just to keep them off of each other. If one bine, which that's correct, they're called a hop bine, not a vine. It's a bine. They are they'll kind of creep over into one another and try to tangle up. So that's really all I come out here to do, maybe once a week, is just kind of make sure they haven't attached themselves to another group, and that's it. So Right now, fresh hop season's underway. Cascades are pretty ready. Centennials, you may have already heard of fresh hop Centennial beers out there, especially if you live in the Pacific Northwest. Um, Centennials have been harvested. They've been using a number of beers already. I've had 2 fresh hop beers already this year that were phenomenal. One was Ex Novo's Elliott IPA, fresh hopped. I had that the day after it was canned. Um, it was fantastic. A really resinous, dank hop presence was there. Really good. That was Ex Novo's Elliott Fresh Hop IPA. The other one I had has a pretty cool story behind it. It's Hopworks Total Blackout. Total Blackout, what they did is they brewed a beer. So the beer was like ready to go on Monday, right? It was already done with the whole, mostly done with its fermentation and things. And so really late in the process, they added in these the hops that they picked on Monday. This last Monday was the Total Eclipse. So they were at Goshi Farms in Silverton, Oregon during Total Blackout in a Total Eclipse harvesting hops for Total Blackout. The beer itself, and this is really unique to me, I've had a lot of fresh hop beers and they're all pales, or they're sometimes even a Pilsner or a lager. They'll do a fresh hop like India Pale Lager or something. This was an Imperial CDA. CDA, also known as a black IPA, but it stands for Cascadian Dark Ale. And CDAs I love already, but a fresh hop CDA, a fresh hop Imperial CDA. I can't remember a fresh hop CDA I've ever had, but a fresh hop Imperial CDA, if you can get a bottle of it, if you can get your hands on it somehow, some way, you live in the Portland, Vancouver area, and can get to Hopworks and enjoy that, you'll be glad you did. If you have somebody who lives in the Portland area that can grab you a bottle of Blackout, it's only available at their pubs. They didn't distribute it, so it's only at their pubs. Super limited, super good. Yeah, so that's it. That's my story when it comes to fresh hop season. Probably not the last thing you're going to hear from me on fresh hop season, because like I said, this goes on for like the next 5 weeks. We're going to see fresh hop beers. In fact, North Bank Beer Week that's coming up here in Southwest Washington, it all caps off with Fresh Hop Fest. I'm definitely going to be vlogging from Fresh Hop Fest. So my beer question for you, and this one's gone a little long, I'm sorry, these are all off the cuff, unedited, so I've talked more about hops than I planned on. Beer question: what is your favorite hop? Do you have a hop that you know when this hop is used in the dry hopping or bittering of a certain beer, you know, man, I look for that hop? Do you have a favorite hop? Leave it in the comments below. Click like on the video, you know, all that YouTube stuff you're supposed to say. Subscribe, I guess. But more importantly, answer the beer question. What's your favorite kind of hop? We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.